What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Brian's Custom Auto YouTube channel. I am your host, Brian, and we are coming back with another installment of Nanner Hammock. Moving right on along in here, okay? You can see that little bracket we got right there? Yeah, that's for a tack, okay? The tack that he ordered was literally the cheapest one you could get from eBay. It blinked 3 times and will not come back on. So we're going to attempt to put the original Sun Pro that was in the car back in here in that bracket. I'll figure that out one way or another. But before I can do that, I've got to do some wiring and straighten out that wiring down there that is jumbled up mess from the previous owner. So overlooking all my mess and everything. But we just posted it right in there like so. And those wires there coming through, that is going to be my that's actually going to serve 3 functions. That's going to be the positive and negative to operate the lights on those gauges, which we have one more gauge still has to go in down there, and it's going to give our 12 volt to the volt gauge that goes in the far end, because we got 3 gauges to go across there. But that we will not worry about anymore until it is time to get our center console in. So in the meantime, we're going to move right on along. We're going to start on that door over there. We got to change the door locks out. We got the ignition fixed to where the key actually comes out like it's supposed to now. So we have keyage and everything works there. So yeah, you can go on eBay. eBay sells your door locks and trunk lock kit, and so that'll work out perfect. So let's jump inside that door there. We're going to do that one first because door card's already off of it. Then we'll move over to this one here to where we have to pull the door card off of it. Well, we got the passenger side done. Now we're back over here on the driver's side. Now, I'll show you this real quick. So on the back of this is this little bitty clip right here, okay? And I know my camera ain't really going to focus on it too well. Let's see. Wait a minute. Do it like they do on the big channels. Alright. So. Alright. Well. Anyway. See that center nipple right there? It goes down inside that hole right there. Okay. The only way to get it out is to use this guy here. While you're holding this whole entire thing in your hand. Now that's all well and good until you stab yourself right in the fatty part of the hand a week and a half ago and got a full checkup just to find out I'm really healthy for the most part. A little high blood pressure, but nothing to be too afraid of. But the doctor asked me, he says, well, what do you do for a living? I said, I rebuild cars. He said, his words, not mine, I highly recommend you get a tetanus shot. You might want that because, you know, messing around with the old cars, you never know when you might cut yourself, and, you know, you really need your tetanus shot. So thankfully I agreed to that because of that. I know my pick's clean. I know there ain't nothing nasty on there. Nah. There ain't no telling what's on that. And can move it over to the new guy, which is not that. It's actually still inside this bag here. There we go. It moves over to this guy here, like so. And then we get our other bag in, get our brand new clips. We got a brand new clip for the back, got an O-ring, and a new inside clip. So I'll get that on there and show you. Alrighty, so we got the little clip on there. The new, as you can see, it's got the new clip. Figure out which side my camera's on, right there. There we go, new clip on. Now, we have this O-ring. It does go a certain way. So, slide that over. And figure out, you got a small side and a big side. So you figure out which side. Actually, you know what, let's spin this O-ring around. It's got a little bendage in it, so you want to use the bendage to your advantage. I sound smart. There, O-rings on. And then here's your new clip for the inside. Okay, now I don't know if you can barely see the light in there, and I don't have a way to get you guys in here any better than this. Okay, not yet. I'm working on it. That's why y'all got to be subscribed to the channel, so that way the more watch time and all that I get, maybe YouTube will start paying me one day for making these videos, and then I can afford to, you know, get better cameras and things like that for you guys to be able to see better in here. Now, got to fit this through from the outside like that, and looking through this little hole here, you got to get it onto the latch, and there it is, just like that. You got the new clip on the outside, and then you got the other new clip right there, and you see how it just fits right over that rod. And I should have put the key in it so I can show you how it works. Hang on. All right, now we're back at it again, and the key is in. So there's your locked, unlock. That is a functioning key both ways. See that extra spin in the tumbler, guys? Believe it or not, that's normal. It had me freaked out on the other side. So let me bring y'all out of there. So there's the new tumbler installed. Now we've got matching keys for both doors. We got a brand new ignition, and that same set of keys goes to the new tumbler for the truck. All right, guys, so just for the S and G, I went ahead and put that door panel back on just so I'm not fighting it all around in here. Now, going back here to the back, to the trunk that I already got open with the screwdriver. You know, the master lock key. If you look down in there, you see that hole? See that guy there? He goes in that hole. Just like that. Yep. There's supposed to be a clamp that goes on right there, and a bar that goes from here to there. Can you guess what I don't have? So now, I get to go to O'Reilly's. All right, everybody, we're back. It's a new day. Hopefully the audio sounds a little bit better now. We have microphones. They finally showed up yesterday, and I got the right ones for my iPhone. Anyway, so where we're at, our trunk tumbler and lock rod will not be here till 3:30 today, okay? Now, that's perfectly fine because I've got to raise this car back up again. Reason being is we got to pull the fuel tank out a second time, although that's not a hard job to do. It's pretty simple. So we're going to drop the fuel tank back out one more time just so I can get to the fuel sender again. Reason being is because the sweep is not correct on that. All right. So for those of you who don't remember, to get this out, pretty simple. You got a strap here, strap here. Now, I made the mistake of taking these bolts here out and take the straps completely out. We don't need to do that. No, sir. Now, what I do need to do, I need to take that 5/16, not that one, this 5/16 here out, which is my ground. And since that one is not, actually, I think I put that on a slide. Just for this reason, instead of having to cut that wire every time you got to pull this out. Yep, see? And then the positive just unplugs right here, which is still stiff. All right, now, as I have said before, when you're taking these rings off, you want to use the biggest hammer you own, the biggest chisel you own, just because, I guess. Now, these lines go around to the back and they set into a channel. That's not a big deal. Actually, the only line that we have to deal with is this one. This is essentially a vent / return, but this car is set up on a non-return style fuel sender. So, we don't even have to worry about that line. Just, it's looped back and it's there just for a vent, basically. Now, get this out. We gotta take this ring loose. So we get on the nub right there, just like that. Tap, tap. The ring is loose. And just like that, you go, and there she is. Now let's pull this guy here out, just like so. Let go, you. All right, because we still have some vapors in there, I'm gonna go cut that heater off real quick. Only because I don't want to blow up. For some reason, it's really weird, guys. Maybe somebody can help me understand this. But for some unknown reason, propane and unleaded don't go together. It's kind of odd. All right, now, as I said, I'm not great with this stuff, guys. So what I got to basically do is turn the meter on, rotate the sender, and see what it does so I can know where I'm at. But first, I grab these couple clamps here so that way we can connect these together like that. So that way you don't have to try and hold it. 1724, raise it up. $17.35, 37, back down to, see, it's all over the place. Let me make sure it's not my connection here. It very well could be my connection here. Let's see. I can make this just a little bit better. Duct tape. We're going to duct tape up this hole. And I am going to use my new O'Reilly's app and see if they have a fuel sending unit for this. So hang tight. All right, all right, all right. We are back. As you can see out the door, maybe, I can't tell if the camera can get it at that angle, but anyway, it's getting evening time, so we've dicked around all day waiting on parts, but I used my O'Reilly's app because I'm a pro and was able to get what I needed. That's what this big old box right here is, ladies and gents. So we'll get this here opened up. And ta-da! Whole entire piped in unit with new screen, with new float. That thing. Ooh, I'm gonna have to fix that. Go figure. Maybe it no, that's gonna have to be fixed for sure. Check this out, guys. Y'all just seen it happen right there. Look at there. See that pinch right there? I wonder what would be better, to pull the arm out just a hair. Let's see. I think that does it. Cool deal. Now, before we go any further, I want to set this right here, because I actually want to check that first and see what it reads. There it is. So we're at 0.6 on empty, and then all the way full. That's about halfway. 45, 46, 48, 49, 51. There's a half tank. And then full is 94. So there you go. That's how that operates, guys. All right. That O-ring sets down in that hole there like so. This goes down in here like so. Velzy gently, velzy gently, velzy gently. Oh no. Gotta modify it already. Look, that's why we do things like this at Brian's Custom Auto. Ah, that's a perfect fit right there. So now we put our brand new ring on. Like that. Okay, just like that. Now remember what I said about the biggest hammer you got to knock it in? You want to make sure you knock all your stuff down into your lap. There we go. Need to go just a hair more. You got a set of locking lugs on the new ones. You got to get past those locking lugs. That's going to help you. Just like that. Come over to this side and just kind of work it back and forth, guys. There it is. You'll know when you're in the right spot because of the way that it is. It won't go no more. But there's our new sending unit in. There's that part. There's our ground wire. Now, we'll want to see if I can pull the posi off of this one. Let's see if I can get it with this. Yep, just like that. And that's just a little push clip, guys. Very simply done. And that dude will go right there. Like that. Okay. All right, guys, and just like that, gas tank's back in. Got a ground strap wired in right there. Got our power wire right there. Got our fuel line hooked up over there. Both straps are in nice and tight, nice and tight. Now I'm going to clean my tools up here real quick because I've got a mess everywhere. And it's kind of dark under here. So we're gonna clean our mess up, move our tools up, and we'll lower the car down and see if the gas gauge goes back to 0. So hang tight. All right, now we're gonna move on to putting the trunk latch in. And once I get done with this is gonna be it for tonight. Now, guys, I'll go ahead and tell you, I've got you put on that tripod right there up high enough to hopefully see some of this. But the slightest movement in this car and you might fall down. So if you do, watch your elbows and knees. Try not to get too skin up, all right? Now, we had to go buy this whole kit because we needed that rod and that little clip. That's it. Now, are we going to take stuff back? Absolutely not. And do you know why? Because as myself and Mr. Glenn discussed, there's a nice new tumbler with the O-ring right there. That's perfect. But the second we take it back, the tumbler will go bad and we'll need this one. So, we're just going to put this one back in the box here. We might try to key and see if it fits it, but we're going to put this back in here like this and go ahead and mount this inside the car. Yeah. Maybe. just right. There we go, right there. Goes like that. Sorry guys if y'all can't see no better than this. This is where it'd be good to have a cameraman. But as y'all know, me having a cameraman is like the greatest joke ever. Okay, so that should go just like that, which means this has to go sideways. But actually it might be easier to come from the other side. But before I shove it all the way up in there, crap, it turned on me. If there's just a way you can make yourself have square fingers. Okay. I'll just barely start that so I can figure out this here. So clearly that goes like that. Okay. So that's what I needed to know. Pull this back out right quick. You're first. Okay. See, I didn't know that. Did you? And if you did, you could have told me. Of course I put it in upside down. There we go. Just like that. Now then. Again with the square fingers, guys. See if I can do this by braille. And guess what, guys? Just like that. Easy as pie. Why, that was easy as pie, guys. Now, last thing, and we are done for tonight. Oh, no. Well, we'll leave that in there. You know what? I'm going to trust this so much, I'll leave my light on. Kind of like the Super 6 Motel. I'll leave the light on, and we'll see if it works. There went my light. Now, get my old keys out. Good thing bad guy ain't after me. I'd drop them 2 or 3 times. And would you look at there? It's locked, and now it operates. All right, cool. Another fine, successful job. You know why we do our job so nice? It's because we do it twice here at Brian's Custom Auto, guys. But you know what? It be done. All right, guys, we're back. It's a new day. Back on the nanner hammock, working on that again. Now, right at the moment, what we're doing is, you can't really see it, but there's a little loop of cable down there. And we got to take a 1/2-inch bolt out right there, but that's the speedometer cable. Once I get it out, I will show you why we're having to replace that, because it's in great shape. All right, so first I got to get in here and get that nut there loose. All right, and then let's move this back out of the way. This here's already loose. Move it down here. Here, do me a favor, hold that right there. Crazy. All right, now the bottom part is out. I've already got the transmission side out. Now we just got to slide it through here. There we go. Now, get the other end of this off the transmission, which, as you should know by now, this shouldn't be able to do that. Okay, now then, let's set this out. We'll do some editing on this. All right, so now the reason we had to do that and get this cable out, guys, is because this end is the part that goes to the transmission, and there's like 3 different cables that it could be, but you see it's busted off of here. Of course I drop it. That little end is supposed to be mounted on there with this cup ahead of it, like that and like that, okay? But it's not, obviously. Now, you can shove that in there and it may work for a while, but if you'll notice, you cannot turn this. It is crimped, it is seized. Might be the problem with it to start with. I do not know. Now, the reason you need to pull this out is because apparently there's 3 different kinds of cables that go to this. You got this kind that has to slip on the back of the speedometer. You also have another one that has the same kind of screw-on type. And then there's a third type, and I'm not sure what it is. But this is the one we need. This is the one I'm going to take, and I think I'm going to ride the Harley to do it. So I'll bring you guys back in just a minute when I get it. Okay, we are back from O'Reilly's. Actually, I've been back for a while. I'm not sure my mic is on here. It seems to be. We're back from O'Reilly's. It was a nice brisk ride there and back on the Harley. Not quite riding weather yet, but anyway, and we got the new cable. So as I showed you the previous cable, now I've got this one wrapped up just a little bit, but here it is, both ends. Okay, this end, as I said before, goes to the transmission. Okay, just slips right on there. That cup goes in, cable goes in, and more importantly, the cable is not froze up. And then this end slips on the back of the Speedo. So let's get that together and I'll show you. All right, now, just as a reminder, this cable can move in and out, so when you get it into the Speedo up there, you'll kind of want to work it back and forth to make sure you get it all the way in there. By knowing if it's in there right or wrong, you'll take your drill and very slightly chuck it down on the end of the cable, and then you can spin it. This drill, I can tell you, runs at 125 RPM, or miles per hour, according to the speedometer. So I know the speedometer at least goes to 125. But we've got it ran through right there, and we're gonna come back and shoot it through that little area right up in there and see if we can get it hooked to the transmission. Then we'll jack up the back end and put this joker in gear and make sure it works. So hang tight, folks. Just like that, we've got it ran all the way through, tied back in where it's supposed to be right there. Now, granted, there's supposed to be another strap right here, but we don't have that one, so I zip tied it in, and it goes up and over the subframe and into the side of the transmission where it's hooked up nice and neat. Now, we're going to put the jack under the back of it here in a few minutes. Once I get back to the inside, because I got some stuff to do in there, but we'll put the jack under the back of it and we'll test it out and see if the Speedo's working. So here we go. All right, as we're moving right on along inside here, we had to take the AC panel here apart because we had no blower motor whatsoever. Now, at best, all we have is partial blower motor, which is minimum at best, but it still works a little. So now we're putting this back together here. I've got to finish putting the ashtray in, the ashtray rail, then the ashtray, and put in a couple more bolts there in the bottom, and that'll tie up the inside for right now. All right, and just like that, the bottom of the dash is back together and everything's screwed in. The ashtray's working like it's supposed to. So now we'll get our tools out, we'll get the back end jacked up, let's test this Speedo. All righty, so we got the wheel chalked, we got the back end up in the air on the jack. Now let's hop in here. I gotta get some stuff out. All right. Yeah. Scoot the seat all the way up because I'm short. Make sure we got neutralis. We're gonna pump the gas twice. 1, 2. Electronic choke works really good. Look at there. There's first gear. Second gear. Oh, wait a minute. There's first. Second. That should be third. That should be fourth. Feels like fourth. Well, what can I say? It works. Nothing in reverse. Well, my carbon monoxide tester works. I just heard it beeping. Yep. Now, guys, don't panic because the door's open. I just don't have the fan on. Let's see what it's saying right here. Oh, we're at 101 parts per million. Guys, if you work inside of a shop and, yeah, this is a lot. Let me turn this fan on. I should have turned that on before I did all this, but hey, yeah, it's still steady going. 113, 115. If you work in a shop like this and you heat with propane, like I do, guys, I had that heater going the other day and that heater going the other day where the speaker is, and I had no way to test of any sort. And when I stepped outside to the fresh air, I got super dizzy, and then I wound up having a massive migraine. Turns out I about killed myself with carbon monoxide. So it is always handy. That same evening we went and picked that up. They sell these at Walmart. I'm not sponsored by them, but guys, I want to keep you alive. See, it's back down to 45, 46 now. Okay. That fan's blowing it out really, really, really fast. But this is a 3-in-1. It's carbon monoxide, smoke, and fire detector. So you definitely want to have one of these. They are amazing. And, you know, when they're beeping, they're letting you know, hey, you're in a dangerous situation. So make sure you have one of them in your shop, guys, especially if you're running these cars. Now, that being said, we're going to jack this up. We're going to take the roller bridge jack out from under it. We'll just let it back down, essentially. And I think for today, that's going to be it. Because it is, in fact, Valentine's Day. And Mama's wanting to go do a few things. So I don't need to spend the whole entire day working out here. So I think we're going to go spend some time together, me, her, and the shop boss, Miss Lorelei. So that's going to be it for today. Now, I will bring you guys back after church tomorrow, okay? We'll get up and go to church in the morning, and I'll be back out here, say, around 11:30 or so. So we'll meet you back here about 11:30 tomorrow. So see you then. All right, everybody, we're back. It's a new day. It's Sunday. I've got the lift up in the air with the Harley under it because, as you can see out there, we have liquid sunshine. Now, I'm going to raise the car up, get the bike out from under it. I guess I'll put it inside for right now or something out of the way. I don't know. But what we're working on today for just a little bit is, if you notice on the bottom of this car, which I pointed out before, and it's hard to see with all the dirt and everything on the car. I still need to clean it, but I'm not going to go take it out there and wash it. I'll just get what I can find. But like right here, you can see that's got bubble in it. That's bubble there, bubble there. There's several spots on this car on the lower part, like right there, that have bubble in them, okay? We want to get that out. Now, we're not doing a full restoration, okay? But just the parts that you can see is what we're focusing on, because again, this car is going to be a driver, okay? We want it to look really good because it will represent my business, just not to the extreme level. So that being said, we're going to fix those. That was the whole reason for us working on the body lines and getting the fender straight and doing all the stuff that we've been doing, because we want this car to be nice, right? Look, we got a dent down here. Not super stressing it, but I'll do what I can with it. You can tell somebody tried to pull that out. We got this right here that looks like, it looks like liquid nail, honestly. But we gotta get that section out. We got a section right there I want to work on. Got a dent right there I kind of want to work on. Gotta clean up down through here. And of course, we're gonna pretty much knock this door completely back down and cover it. I think back here's pretty good. And that's pretty much it. I'm not doing the lid or the edge on the trunk lid. Just not. That's not in my list of things that need to be done to this car. Okay. We want to straighten this up a little bit. You know, stuff like that. As I said before, guys, and I'll say it again, not a show car. It's a driver. Okay. He wants to be able to drive it and enjoy it. If you put that much work into a car, nobody wants to drive it and enjoy it. Plus, he lives on a dirt hill. Can you imagine putting all that kind of work in the paint on a car like this and then taking it straight up a dirt driveway? No. So anyway, we're going to get started. I'm going to get the grinder out and get started knocking this down, seeing what it leaves us with, and go from there. Hang tight. Great weather out here, guys. Just loving it. Anyway, there's our spacer on our wheels. You see it's pretty good. So we went ahead and, using my little body hammer here, re-rounded the fender here. I'll get up on a flatter edge so you can see. But this was all pulled down from that last set of wheels, those out there. Wait, right there. Kept grabbing this lip and pulling it. We don't have to worry about that with these. So I took this hammer with the metal head on it and just kind of knocked all that back in. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to do it, guys. It's just stay steady with it, and you will get where you want to be with it. We got to do the same thing on the other side, I'm sure. Somebody tell me this, okay? You see this in here? See how it looks like it was jaggedly cut with a Sawzall? Is that a factory cut like that, or what? I don't know. I don't think so, but who the heck knows? Anyway, there's that. Our rust spots. See how it's kind of Swiss cheese in there? See how the bottom corner of the door is kind of Swiss cheese there? Now, once you get right here, it feels like it's pretty good metal, but that's not good at all. So, and down in here. So I'm probably going to take some of this down and put some rust reformer on it. This little bubble up here is just that little spot right there. A little bit of rust reformer on that. That should take care of that little bit. But guess what, guys? I have to go get the rust reformer because I don't have any. I'm out. So we'll put the rust reformer on that, let that clean up and dry really good. And then we will pack it full of the stranded filler, sand it back down, make it look good. Go from there. I've got Duraglass in there, so I think that'll be fine in that. You know, especially considering what it is. But we're gonna go on to the other side and get the paint knocked off the bad spots there too. Anywhere you have spots like this, guys, where it's chipped in the paint and they try to cover it over, you got to take that down. There's nothing you can do about it. If there's a chip in the paint, there's going to be a discrepancy in the height of it. And no matter what you do, you're always going to see it. So we want to take that out. We want to eliminate all that. Now, if it's just in a clear coat, you can usually sand that down real easy. But like stuff like this, you'll want to work it a little bit. Stuff like this, you'll want to, just kind of work it a little bit. You can feather it out and make it look good. See, this thing's got chips all over it, guys. Shoot, we got a run in the paint right here. This is some kind of barn paint. Did I paint this in the past? It's possible. But it's not horrible, guys. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be okay, I think. Not real sure what to do with my hands. Anyway, all right. I'll bring it back, guys. So we got this side open, and I don't know if you can tell, it's got really good metal right in this area here, and this over here ain't quite so bad, and this over here ain't quite so bad, but I think we can just kind of mud over that, maybe. Yeah, if I do that enough. No, we'll put a piece of cardboard in there and just kind of mud over it. How's that sound? Sound like a plan? Or, I got it. We'll use that sheetrock screen stuff and place it inside. Yeah. No, actually, I think this is an ankle warmer. Nah, guys. Got the cutter out here. Got the mask out here. We're going to go ahead and take this section out all the way around here and just plan on putting a new piece in. That's all we can do. This you can't do nothing with, so we got to replace that. But on the positive side is we do have good metal on each end, so I can just take the section out from here to here, from here down to here. Should be good to go. Let's see. All right, so we got our patch panel cut out to replace this guy. Cut out of there. We got this in there just as a backer now. It's just set in there at the moment. It's not tacked. But what I'm going to end up doing is tacking it one spot on that edge there, one spot on that edge there, because the inner structure that goes right there is rusted too. So we want to at least have some sort of backing back there just to get behind that. Now once that's tacked in place, we'll be able to take this panel here, which I had to slightly bend by hand, and it will set right up against that and give us all our patching that we need, just like that right there. Well, not just like that, but really close, So, but you want that back piece in there for some sort of support behind it, because you see we're using really thin metal here. But you can look at the metal that's in here and see that's really thin too. But before we do that, I want to wiggle this out of the way. Here, we'll bend it straight, drop that out. That's, again, nothing fancy, because we're going to go get the rust reformer and we're going to spray it up in there as much as we possibly can. There's that. That's supposed to be a channel right there, guys. And you can see it's all rusted out in there too. So, let's go get our rust reformer. You can see right there where I hit that little cut, how underneath that rust, it's actually still decent metal. And it's going to be the same thing on this side over here if you look. Well, anyway. You understand my point. So right inside there, I don't know if the camera will catch it. Right inside there, you can see where I went a little far when I cut it, but that's still shiny in there too. So that can be reformed to some decent metal. So we're gonna go get the rust reformer, spray it in there, and I'll be back in just a minute to be with you. All right, guys, we back, and we got our rust fix from Duplicolor. I'm not sponsored by Duplicolor, guys. I just had to pay $16 for this can at O'Reilly's, okay? But we got the rust fix. This stuff goes on clear, dries black as it eats the rust or stops the rust. It's a neutralizer. So I saw Vice Grip Garage use this stuff, and everybody knows, these channels knows Vice Grip does things. He does it the right way, even though he tries to make it look janky. So I figure like this, if Vice Grip uses it, I can. So I'm going to go get the metal prep, or not metal prep, but the prep all, spray the area real. Actually, no, you know what? I think it said on here you didn't have to. But Stops rust on contact. Sandable and paintable for smooth finish. Applies clear. Turns rusted surfaces black. Okay. And reading the directions on here, it's compatible up to 200 degrees. Hold the can 8 to 10 inches away. Do 2 or 3 light coats, allowing surface to dry no more than 2 minutes between coats. Final application should dry to a black finish. Protect from moisture and allow surface to dry 24 hours before applying a top coat. Okay, so I guess that's what we'll do. So hang tight. So here we are. We're gonna do this together. Let me clean that camera marginally better. All right. It seems like a lot. All right, let's go up here and do this one. Okay. No more than 2 minutes in between, it said, right? Now, that means on the other side, I'm just going to have to put etching in that. Which is fine. I've got a bottle of it pre-mixed over there, so I'll just spray that in there and let it ride, and then put the next plate on it. So, yeah. So let me go get that, and we'll be right. So I overlooked my bad welding job, guys, but we're working that in there slowly but surely, just getting it patched in. And yeah, so I gotta do a little section, do a little section, do a little section till I get this whole thing done in, then we'll cut it back down. But yeah, we're getting that patch in there. So as soon as that gets in there, we'll cut it all back down with the wheel and make it look like it's supposed to. So yeah, and oh, we gotta go spray the other side again. It's been more than 2 minutes. Oops. I might have messed up on that a little bit, but guess what? It looks like it's turning kind of black. I don't know. We can't touch it till tomorrow anyway, so. Yeah, it did turn it kind of black, didn't it? Hey, whatever works, right? I have a funny feeling we're going to be using that stuff on a whole bunch of different things. Anyway, I'll bring you back. All right, guys. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That stuff dried up pretty good. I went ahead and put some filler in it. Went ahead and put some filler in it. Went ahead and put some filler in it. Now, that might pop right back out come tomorrow. I don't know. This side over here, we did a little bit different. Because we didn't spray that stuff on there. All we did was spray Prep All and all that. So now this is on. Yes, I know it looks like crap, guys. I don't care because I have to sand it. Okay? But that part there's good. Now, that being said, that's pretty much where I'm at for tonight. I'm not doing anything else tonight. I'm going to go in here. Now that that's done, I'm going to go in here, spend some time with my family, shut some lights off. Shut some lights off. There it goes. Turn some heaters off. Wave at the neighbors. How you doing? And pick my mess up and go on in for tonight. That's what I'm going to do. Now, do I know if I'm going to get this sanded down and ready for paint tomorrow? No, I don't have a clue. You know what I do know? I know tomorrow's weather's supposed to be extremely beautiful. If it is, that means I'm going to be sitting on Harley because I'm going for a ride somewhere. I don't know where. I don't care where. But there's a beautiful blue Harley in there waiting to be ridden. I've got a butt itching to be on it. And a full tank of gas. So I'll probably end up doing that after I drop her off at school. Hopefully it stays nice enough tomorrow and I can go pick her up from school on it. That would be great. But anyway, guys. So I'm done for tonight. Putting tools up. Let's get out of here. I'll see you back tomorrow. All right, ladies and gents. We are back. It's the next day. It feels great out here. Short sleeve rocking. And the temperature steady rising. That's what we were after. I want to show you something. I got the Trailblazer out. I'm going to take it for a drive today. Okay. while I'm letting some stuff dry. Like this. Still working on it. Probably should have washed the mud off of it first, but I'll do that actually as soon as this stuff here dries, because I did clean this area and on the front of the door. We're gonna let that stuff dry up, and then I'll pull it out and I'll wash the whole car down to get down to paint. But guys, this paint is something else. You can see the run all along the bottom right here. It is awful. Okay, I don't know what brand of house paint they used, but they used house paint to paint this car. We're not going to. We're going to break it down. We're going to clean it up. And I've got 1 quart, so technically 2 quarts, of canary yellow to go on this car. And I don't care if I use every bit of it, because that's not a color I'm ever going to use again. When it's time to put this into the booth to paint it, I think we're going to snatch these wheels off and put the black ones back on it just for that. But aside from that, yeah, that's what we're doing. Because this door here is a complete different color, and you can see it was like spray bombed to get the brown off of it, and they did not even look. Actually, hang on. How well they prepped this door before they painted it. Okay, got a regular blower. Color coming out, that's that brown, and that's a factory brown color. Look down here. So yeah, we got a lot to do. We got to make this door match the rest of the car. We're gonna have to blend it. Okay, by blend means, well, I know what I got to do. Anyhow, guys, we will get the rest of the mud off of it today, wash it, and get as much of this yellow off of here as we can, and then start making it look like a car again. So yeah, we got a lot to do, but for starters, we're gonna work on that. So let's get that straightened out, and I'll bring you back in a minute. All right, guys, I tried. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. That's a dent right there. They attempted to pull it before or something. I can't leave it. I tried. My brain will not let me. And I don't want to just pack that full of mud, especially when I don't have to. So we're going to take the Trailblazer for a ride and go to Harbor Freight and go get a slide hammers kit. They're like $31.99 or something like that. I'm telling you that because I don't want anybody thinking I'm sponsored by Harbor Freight, because I'm not. So yeah, let's go get a slide hammer set for that. Let's also check our putty over here. Ooh, that's already hardened up, which means as soon as I get back, we can sand that. Yay! All right, let's go get a slide hammer. Like that, we are back with our little cheap slide hammer set from Harbor Freight. I've already got the little bit on there we need. That little hook there is going to hook into that screw there. We're going to slide it back and try and pop this dent out as much as we can anyway. Hopefully I don't have to try and get on the back side of it with a bigger washer or nothing, but we'll see what happens with this. If we open the hole up a little bit more, we got different options as far as hooks and stuff put in there, but let's just see what we can do with this. So hang on. All right, guys. So as you can see here, I've got the car down here off the lift. We're not doing anything too major with it. We just want to basically give it a good Comet wash. 1 second. You will want to wet the car down first, but Comet is in a paper / cardboard kind of container, so you don't want to touch your Comet. How about we start, let's say the hood. And the fender. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. simply start scrubbing away. Now the one thing I will say about this is you do not want to use your good car wash stuff on this when you're doing this. It won't work in your benefit, believe it or not. There's no real rhythm to it. But guys, I mean, maybe you can see just that fast how much of a difference it makes just by doing. David Freiberger is in fact the king of this. The spot, and then you go back and hit it. Just got to grab your rag and go get it. You remember I didn't get this section. All right, guys, we got the Comet wash done. We'll give it a good walk around here, see how much cleaner it looks. There's quite a few dents in the roof of this car that I didn't notice before. But you know what? Not stressing. Not stressing. But she's quite a bit cleaner. But you can really see it on camera at all the little blotches and stuff where somebody tried to make it prettier before, or tried to paint it before, or whatever. This car has been spray bombed to death. But we're gonna take care of that. Got another spot here I gotta fix. Got another spot up in here I gotta fix. No biggie. And then that stinking thing. Now you understand why we call it Nanner Hammock. It's bright canary yellow and it's had all kind of hands on it. Anyway, so here she is, cleaned up for the first time. This is the first time this car's ever had a wash since I've had my hands on it. So, yeah. I don't think I washed it before, but anyway. Now, we're going to get it fired up and put it back on the lift. Let her dry out for the night. Now I'll get back on it tomorrow. As you can see, we're back in here now. We're going to let her spend the evening. I will turn that fan off and blow it down on the car, let it kind of air it off and stuff like that. You can kind of see up here how dented up the roof is a little bit. I mean, I don't think the car's been rolled over or anything like that. I just think maybe the right mullet owned it and might have been a bang here or a bang here, or maybe a helmet or two here from losing. I don't know. But it could be any number of things. I know the mullet that owns it now is looking so forward to it. And I'm looking forward to him getting it. So, anyway, so we're going to keep on moving on, guys. But for tonight, we're going to let this thing just sit and dry out. okay? And if you want to see the remainder of the bodywork going back together, you're going to have to stay tuned until next week, okay? That's going to do it for this one, guys. I know it ain't very long. Hopefully it was somewhat interesting, but aside from that, that's going to do it. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, please. And remember, if it don't challenge you, it don't change you. We'll see you next week.